If you were online this month, you probably saw a man by the name of Sneako staring down Christ himself, reincarnated as the John Wick of Florida.
What you have there is not clips. These are mags.
But with Sneako, that's only a drop in the bucket, because Sneako has managed to turn being seen as the villain into a successful online career, and his latest feud with MoistCritical is just the latest example of that. See, when you reach a certain level of online influence, there's probably going to be a strong emotion that people generally feel towards you, and generally you want that feeling to be positive. But it can be a lot easier to make a career out of being hated, out of being downright despicable, because that makes you nearly untouchable. See, content creation is almost impossible to turn into a job for most people because anyone can do it. So you either need to rely on luck or find a thing that makes you stand out from the competition. And Sneako saw that firsthand, as him trying to run a gaming channel got him nowhere. So he kept experimenting with content until landing on being basically Andrew Tate Jr.
I'm defending Tate because Tate represents masculinity, which is gone on the internet. But racism is not natural. Patriarchy is natural. That's biology. Racism is based in just hatred.
What does a woman bring to the table?
Nothing! You leave this on my table, and then I want to throw them out because it looks like 5 dead mosquitoes. That's all you bring. You don't pay for shit. You make no sense. Your stinks. You're annoying. You believe in astrology. You have no logic. All you do is disagree. You think you're toxic and crazy. You have no unique personality. You bring nothing to the table.
Now, while you might find that kind of content appalling, targeting that audience can actually be really lucrative. And there's a bit of a cycle that I've noticed. You see, creators like Sneako specifically target young men who are unhappy with their lives. And rather than help those men look inward and figure out ways to improve themselves, these creators will instead encourage those men to blame women and society for their loneliness, even going so far as to insist that the very idea of being a man is under attack.
I talk about how feminism is a waste. I talk about how people need to get off the internet and go outside because they're up everybody. Men are losing their balls. He's the first person like promoting masculinity in a world that's so feminized and up. Men are getting weaker and weaker and weaker, and women are getting richer and happier, and it's fucked up. Why do you think the divorce rate's so high?
Quick fact check on that. The divorce rate's actually been steadily declining, and women do divorce men at higher rates now because, as Sneako alluded to, women aren't as financially dependent on men as they used to be, so they can leave abusive partners, which they couldn't do before. And when these creators ensure that these men don't learn how to overcome their loneliness and instead stay angry at the world, these men will keep coming back to the content that assures them that it's not their fault. So you keep your audience around for a long time by making them rely on you for validation. And none of that even mentions that there's way less competition for creators in this niche because very few people are willing to build an entire career that relies on them being hated. And because this type of content doesn't rely on the creator presenting themselves as being likable, then they have nothing to lose because it's going to be incredibly difficult to make their audience turn on them. I mean, just with Sneako, his audience is fine with him endorsing someone for president that self-identifies as something that, you maybe don't want to self-identify as. They were also fine with him defending, endorsing, and praising a film that was criticized for things that, you shouldn't want to be praising. Sneako's viewers already accept that he's not a good person, so how could anything hurt him? But once you get your success, as long as you maintain the image that your audience has of you, there's nothing for you to lose. So what happens when Sneako crosses a man with the heart of a warrior and the tongue of a poet that goes by the name of Charlie? Well, Charlie will proceed to shatter any illusion that Sneako is even remotely masculine, while reminding us that yes, Charlie is the Florida man of legend.
The same way that this is also a mag. They're all mags. Stop saying clips, you look fucking stupid here.
Sneako has had a bit of an ongoing feud with YouTuber and Twitch streamer MoistCritikal's, which started when Sneako took issue with Charlie criticizing Cuties, a film that received widespread criticism for its portrayal of children in adult situations, to put it in an advertiser-friendly way. And then things were quiet until a couple years later, when Charlie made a commentary video poking fun at an alpha male podcast that's all about lying and putting women down in order to appeal to, well, desperate and pathetic men that want to blame women for their problems and talk about women as if they are prey.
So he's like, yo, pick 3 that you want, and I got you. I was like, 3 that I want? Is it like a buffet? Shoot, I'll take it.
Bro, this does not sound like an NBA player. This sounds like human trafficking. Pick any 3 girls and I got you. That should be like setting off alarm bells in your head, I would think.
But Sneako was apparently friends with the subject of Charlie's video and decided to go after Charlie and his girlfriend in really shallow ways in response.
I'm not gonna say names. Someone texted me. He's in a monogamous relationship. This is his girl. So there you go. I mean, I told you, like, I could hear it in your voice that it's so foreign to a lot of people's ideas, because when you get brainwashed, when you get told that monogamy is the answer.
What the f are you even talking about? What does this have to do with anything?
And this is a really common tactic used by these alphas where they know they can't win in a contest of character, so they instead fixate on superficial things like someone's appearance or who could win in a fight. Charlie responded to this by effortlessly unpacking Sneako in a response video. Because you see, Charlie has a way with words that I cannot explain. He knows how to get to the heart of someone's greatest flaw without ever wasting a word. In Sneako's case, it's the fact that he's not nearly as emotionally tough as he claims. See, Sneako shared an anecdote about watching his girlfriend be intimate with other men and displayed an insane amount of insecurity towards the event. Which on its own, who cares? Like, people can experiment in their relationship and not everything's gonna be for everyone, so whatever. But rather than have the humility to admit that he regrets doing it, Sneako went on to insist that every single person should try being cucked at some point.
Imagine seeing the girl you love, like, get love her? Yeah, I do. I love it. Yeah, I love her. The first time, as soon as I saw it, like 3 pumps in, I just got up and walked out. I'm just like, I can't do that. Like, feeling traumatic thoughts, like seeing her with another person. It's a lot. It's a lot. But I think it's something everybody should do just to test. No! I know. You know what?
Remember in elementary school when we kept secrets? Like who we have a crush on, who we watch smash our girlfriends, all that. You're still allowed to do that in case you didn't know. Like, you could still just keep things to yourself. You don't have to say every embarrassing story into a podcast mic. And here's what Charlie had to say on that.
Contrary to what Sneako thinks about me, I have legitimately no issue with open relationships at all. But what Sneako's talking about here isn't so much an open relationship, it's cuckoldry. You have watched your girl get f***ed in front of you on at least 2 occasions that he talks about here. Like, you're not really okay with it sounds like. So stop trying to pretend to be, and stop trying to make it seem like this is a good, healthy thing for everyone that everyone needs to try. It's just pretty sad. So this is always in the back of my mind when he starts critiquing my relationship, or really any relationship for that matter. Like, what really gives you the right, especially when you're clearly in a very complicated situation in your own mind with your relationship?
But after that, the situation more or less died down, though that's mostly because Charlie has ignored Sneako over the last few months, until more recently. Because in a real alpha male move, Sneako decided to post a collage of creators that have said mean things about him. Yeah, he's actually been using this collage for months to just complain about the people who hurt his feelings unless they scare him, in which case, no.
Sneako tried to talk a big game to him, even challenged him to a debate, which Turkey Tom accepted with jubilation. He was ecstatic. And then Sneako kept ducking him, ghosting him. So he leaves Turkey Tom off of this list because he's afraid to actually talk to him. And he also leaves off Brandon Buckingham. And Brandon Buckingham actually challenged him to a fight. And Sneako is very fearful of him.
So masculine. Sneako constantly whines that these creators all sought to cancel him and alludes to them all being beta or soft or whatever. Mind you, most of these people just criticize Sneako. I'm only aware of Nick Green advocating for deplatforming him. Like, I have no clue how you could argue that Charlie's video making fun of Sneako is trying to cancel him. Which Charlie apparently agreed with because he decided to grab a shovel and bury Sneako, saying, "Holy shit, you pathetic, sensitive soy little worm. I made fun of you for watching your girlfriend get fucked by numerous other men and also insulted you for defending child porn. That's not cancellation, that's just spitting on you for being a pitiful, sad cuck." And he ratioed Sneako 100 times over. And Sneako would only respond to Charlie by saying that they should fight because punching harder means ideas gooder, right? And I don't know why Sneako thought he could win here, but Charlie replied, "You literally have a collage of people that hurt your feelings on the internet. You haven't stopped whining about me for months now, you goofy NPC. Even if you beat my ass in a fight, it doesn't change the truth. You're still a cuck who also defends child porn." So Charlie has said outright, "I do not care if you can beat me up." So that is not a point of pride for Charlie. Like, Charlie was destroying Sneako so badly that he was basically giving Sneako advice on how to insult him better. So of course, Sneako responds by saying to meet him in the schoolyard after dismissal. Again, dude, it's okay to not be good at Twitter arguments. Like, I would probably be horrible at them, which is why I argue on a platform that I'm more comfortable on. But how can you see someone dismantling you so effortlessly and just keep giving them opportunities to do that while adding nothing new to your insults? Because Sneako just challenged Charlie to a fight again, so Charlie responded, "Got your Discord still working on responses?" referring to the fact that Sneako apparently does that whenever he gets into these feuds. Brother, I have no problem. You started it and I made fun of you in return. You're upset about publicly admitting to cuckoldry and getting mad at me for bringing it up. You should be mad at yourself instead. Have some self-reflection. And Sneako just responded to this by challenging Charlie to a fight a few more times. And like Charlie mentioned, Sneako had been going after him for months before all this. And Charlie never bothers to respond, but when he does, it results in some of the most glorious moments imaginable. Because in December, Sneako participated in a frankly unhinged live stream. Some of his viewers found their way into Charlie's stream, and Sneako started trying to argue with Charlie live. And at one point, Charlie made a joke about Sneako and cuties, so Sneako straight up snapped and turned into Jared Leto's Joker.
Hey, Moist Critical, you wanna watch my clips? Watch my clips. Watch my clips. You want me to watch your clips? Watch my clips. These are the only clips I'm watching, you were? I ain't watching none of your clips. Watch my clips.
Yeah, that was in response to Charlie telling Sneako to watch his Twitch clips if Sneako wants to know what he said. Which I gotta ask, does Sneako think it's alpha to have someone ask him to watch a video and respond to that by going, "Yeah, I'ma make you stop living now"? Like, that's not alpha, that's just straight up deranged, my guy. And I'm not reaching. Sneako was specifically saying that he would pull up to Charlie's home and attack him.
You live in Florida too, don't you live in Tampa? I'm not that far away. I can see you tonight and you wanna argue in person? I'll end the stream and drive up to you and we can debate in real life. I'm
they don't never switch. Sneako from the right. Sneako from Miami. Critical Tampa. Yeah, I can tell all these niggas wanna diss. Keep it in the streets.
And in his most recent response to Sneako, Charlie basically says, "Do it plus mine's bigger," while giving Sneako a free lesson on weapons.
And I'm sorry to be that guy, this is like the grammar police of guns, but he's a f***ing imbecile, you absolute buffoon. What you have there is not clips. These are mags. They're mags, not clips, you absolute f***ing dummy. The same way that this is also a mag. They're all mags. Stop saying clips, you look fucking stupid here.
And after that, Charlie proceeded to just make Sneako regret getting out of bed that day.
3 fucking months. You love to bitch about how everyone's canceling you. These soy boy NPC bots are all canceling you. It's all you do. You treat the teenagers in your Discord like they're your goddamn therapist. Just going in there to complain about the invisible boogeyman canceling you again, shaking your fist at the clouds. I also love that you treat this Discord server like it's your PR team, so you have them work on your responses on Twitter because you're not witty enough to come up with anything on your own. You have no ability to banter. You can't insult anyone. Anytime you're pushed, all you fall back on is one of 3 things: soy boy, bot, or NPC, and that's it. You never deviate from this path. Which is ironic, because you're like literally a sheep. You have 3 programmed responses. You're like the absolute worst character, side character in an MMO. It's pathetic. But I'm getting sidetracked.
We're men. We will die trying to prove ourselves. It's weird and sad. Like, I'm in my 20s and I think about slapping people for respect on a daily basis. That's insecurity. I'm deeply afraid of somebody calling me a
Like, it's just sad. And after seeing all that, you probably land on Sneako being a sad, pathetic loser, right? He possesses absolutely no cleverness or ability to form an independent thought, as proven by him needing help writing comebacks and constantly falling back on saying, well, I can beat you up.
Because everyone says exactly what they see on their feed. So many people have a lack of personality. They all echo the same jokes. They don't think for themselves.
And even outside of this stuff with Charlie, Sneako's Twitter is filled with tweets that are just echoing language that more influential right-wing people have come up with. Like, I can find dozens of attempts at Sneako insulting people, but not one where it's an insult that he himself has come up with. But how else is he supposed to sell his online courses or promote his stream? Because that is Sneako's business model. Piss off as many people as you can so that people are talking about you. If 95% of the internet hates you, but the other 5% are willing to give you money, it's a great way to make a fortune for those without an ounce of shame. Which, say what you want about Sneako, but at least this allows him to get something out of being a shameless coward to his core, unlike when he watches his girlfriend get passed around like a blunt but is too insecure to say that it bothers him. What an alpha. But